everybody, and thanks for joining me today. So, show you again on a picture where we're working. Doing the bottom of the fountain here, and then some of the flower hedges as well. So I'm quite happy with the progress I'm making here, that's for sure. Yeah, we're at 78%, so closing in on 80. Okay. So yeah, I got my new glasses yesterday. Still adjusting to those a bit, although my close-up vision is still pretty good. It was mostly my distance vision that was giving me trouble, so yeah, still adjusting to that, but it's not too bad. There's hardly any distortion today, so that's good. That means I got good ones again. Yeah, plus my prescription didn't change that much. They told me my left eye stayed the same, and it was the right eye that changed a little bit, and I can tell because that is the one that things look a little weird while I adjust to them. So yeah, I'm the only one who needed new ones this year. My husband got new ones like last year, so. And yeah, got my son's eyes checked because we always do that every year before school starts to see if he needs new glasses. And he said, the doctor said with his current lenses, he could see the 20/20 line, so everything is good there. I said, yeah, I don't think I've seen the 20/20 line since I was 10, no matter how thick my lenses are. Oh. Yeah, my dad was like that too. He didn't have to wear them all the time just for, you know, driving and reading and stuff. So yeah, they did a test once, and the doctor put his current prescription in and said, you know, what's the lowest line you can see on this chart? And my dad says, well, I can see Made in Korea on the bottom, which was even tinier than the 20/20 line. So the doctor's like, yeah, okay, you could see just fine. Oh. Yeah, that's the reason why I haven't gone for the eye surgery. They say they can only fix so much. I mean, I don't know if the technology's changed since then, but when I looked into it at the time, they could only change a certain number of points. And then you would still need, you know, like reading glasses and such, or maybe even a lesser prescription. So I just went, for that price and that risk, cannot be bothered. Plus, they said they can't fix age-related. So, as most people need reading glasses as they get older, that's not something they fix with the laser surgery. So, yeah. But yeah, I was mentioning in a previous video how they put these caliper measurer things on the outside of the frames and then sit them on your face and take a picture, and then their program digitally measures exactly where your pupils are and how they sit on your face. And I've definitely noticed the difference in how well it's lined up properly, because I always found glasses were a little bit off because one of my ears is slightly higher than the other. So they would put the focal point right in the very center of the lens, but my right eye is not in the very center of the lens because the glasses were slightly crooked by only a couple of millimeters, but you know, it's enough to make a difference. So I've noticed I'm adjusting much faster this time. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So it was worth not going a cheaper route, I suppose. But yeah, I've gone through the pain of having glasses that were not properly made. Not doing that to myself again. And of course, they denied that they were made incorrectly, so they refused to fix them. So yeah, I definitely did not save money. I just ended up being out the extra. Okay. I think I'm just gonna do those few stitches there and then end off and start again, because there's really, no matter where I park, it's gonna be pretty long to carry, so. Oh yeah, so I remember I was saying a while back when we were going through the whole bathtub replacement thing, and how the faucet thing is plastic inside. You can't get any that are metal. Yeah, my husband had it snap last night. So the little bypass thing, so instead of it coming out the spout, it comes out the shower head. Well, the bypass thing broke inside there, so water was shooting out of the faucet part instead. So now he's got to go get another one and fix it. He said the old one he took out was it was metal, so they used to make a metal, and now they don't. I mean, they designed everything to break these days, right? Like, that's not just conspiracy thinking. They actually do plan for things to be made obsolete and for you to need to replace them every 2 to 5 years. That's why when they say they don't make things like they used to, it's not just being a persnickety old grump. It's actually true. Because, yeah, they found if they make things that last forever, they can't sell as many of them. Yeah, because I remember reading the Corningware dishes. There's a distinct difference between the quality before a certain year than versus after. So a lot of people are still using their grandmothers, even their great-grandmothers' Corningware dishes, and the new ones break a lot more easily. And yeah, I remember my mom had a glass Pyrex measuring beaker that she used when I was a kid, and I think she's still using it, you know, and I'm 40. And yeah, but I bought one. I remember I had it for maybe 3-4 years. It broke in my dishwasher, even though they say they're dishwasher safe. But yeah, it shattered to like 3 dozen glass shards. So that was really fun to clean out of the dishwasher. Yeah, I went to pull out the rack of dishes and heard this across the bottom. I was like, what the heck is that? And yeah, it's dozens of pieces of broken Pyrex dish. So, ugh. Yeah, although you have to be careful too, because I remember there was I think it was the Corel dishes with the like the little flowery paintings on the outside. You know, everybody's grandma had those. Everybody's church basement had them. They had the green and the sort of yellowy olive greeny yellow color, and there's blue ones. And I think the blue ones are still pretty valuable, but they said there was a warning for some of these that if you do have them, to have them only for decoration because they have lead-based paint in them, which, you know, could leach into your food, and you definitely don't want to be eating that. So yeah, they said they're fine to keep them if you use them just for display in like a china cabinet or something, or, you know, you only use them to hold non-food items like your keys or something, or buttons, or, you know, something like that. But if, yeah, you're gonna actually use them for food, you better double check that you don't have the kind that have lead in them. Obviously, don't want to be ingesting that. Yeah, man, lead in everything. I'm sort of at the age when they were discovering that and removing lead from everything when they started making vehicles that had to say unleaded fuel only on them because leaded fuel was still a thing. Oh, what am I doing? I still had one there. Hi. I seem to do that a lot. Yeah, and old Play-Doh had lead in it. My husband said, yeah, geez. And when I was a kid, me and my brother used to eat it. So, yikes. Oh. And lead paint. I remember being taught at school to not eat the paint chips because some kids like to for some reason. I wasn't one of them, but yeah, because there's lead in it. And that can give you brain damage. And yeah, they still call it the lead in a pencil, even though it hasn't been lead for a long time. It's now graphite. But the name stuck. I mean, kind of like how a lot of people still call them blackboards when they haven't been black in a long time. And nowadays, most people have whiteboards instead of chalkboards. Because, yeah, I remember we didn't ever have blackboards. We had the green chalkboards when I was a kid. But people still called them blackboards, even though they weren't black anymore. Wow, kind of like how I was telling my son I put on an old movie for him, and I said, oh, I have to switch this into full screen. He said, why is it called full screen? Why doesn't it fill the whole screen? I said, well, that's because TVs were used to be square. Widescreen TV was not a thing. It's like, wow, really? I said, yeah, it was a new big deal when they came out. And also, yeah, TVs used to be black and white. We had one. Just a little one when I was a kid. We had a color TV too, but yeah, we had a little black and white one as well. With the old style antennas and knobs on it. Okay, 160. Yeah, it was interesting, or it was, I was reading about how in Victorian houses, they, with the green wallpaper, a lot of them was actually arsenic in the wallpaper. And so they said, yeah, no wonder people were always, sickly and pale and ill. Everything was lead and arsenic. So they all had heavy metal poisoning. And, you'd hear stories about how, the wife was feeling poorly, so they took her to the seaside and she got better. And I thought, well, yeah, no kidding. You got her away from the house filled with arsenic and lead, and you got her away from the soot of the city into some fresh air. Of course she did better. She wasn't being poisoned on a daily basis. Oh, dear. But yeah, it was, I was watching a TV series. It was just a short little one called London Hospital, which I can't remember who put it together, but it was about like a public hospital at the turn of the century. It was like 1906 or something. And yeah, how many children from poorer areas got very ill because of the bad water, and especially in the summers, because once it warmed up, the bacteria multiplied. And how many of the poor children died, and they didn't know that a simple solution of like water with sugar and a bit of salt to fix your electrolyte balance would save them. Something so simple, but they didn't know back then. And of course, there's no public water filtration in those days, so. Yeah, that was a storyline they had. PBS made the series Victoria, which was about young Queen Victoria, her life. And there was one where her, I think it was her dresser, her servant, who she died because she had got some medicine that had been made with water from a public pump, and that well was contaminated, which they didn't know. And that apparently there was a, they were saying this on the DVD extras, that there was a doctor who traced the infections to that pump, and he tried to warn people, and nobody cared because it was a poorer part of the city that was suffering from it because they were lower down, and so all the, you know, dirty water runoff was going into that well, collecting there, and then people were getting sick. People who lived up higher didn't have that problem, and nobody cared. So I think it was he actually went and destroyed that well because nobody would listen to him, and so he blew it up. Because yeah, that was the only way to get people to stop using it. Because I mean, he tried to warn people, but nobody was going to go, you know, miles out of their way to go to a different pump to get water, different well to get water. There's one right there, especially when germ theory of disease was not, you know, known then. So yeah, he ended up taking very drastic measures, but he saved a lot of lives. Yeah, like we kind of take it for granted now that you can, in most places, drink the water out of your tap. Might, you know, be a bit unpleasant smelling, but it's generally safe to drink. Yeah, and of course there's people trying to tell people back then to, you know, boil their water. But, I mean, if you were poor enough you didn't have very much fuel just to keep warm or to cook, you weren't going to waste your time boiling your water or your milk. Okay. Oh, there. Tablet didn't want to register that for some reason. So, a lot of similar blues here, but kind of scattered, so a fair bit of color changing should keep things interesting. Yeah, I was enjoying that series of Victoria, but they did, I think, 3 seasons, and they were saying that they planned to do a 4th, but then pandemic hit, so they haven't officially canceled it. Supposedly they're planning to keep going with it, but so far there's been no progress that I've heard of. And they were saying, too, that at some point they're going to have to cast a different actress to play Victoria as she gets older, because, yeah, obviously they cast a much younger actress than how we usually picture her to, because they had her playing her earlier years. Yeah, something so simple like I said with germ theory and stuff makes me kind of wonder what things we're going to discover, you know, years from now that we'll look back and say, wow, if only they'd known this simple thing, it would have made such a difference. Okay. So yeah, it doesn't look like I get any swans in this area. I think it's more over to the right side of the fountain that I get them. Got some here, little tiny ones. Yeah, I'm not seeing any of the really pale white and very light pinks and stuff that made up the swans earlier. Not seeing it here in the pattern, so yeah, I think it's further over. This bit here is the part of the water spray. Just gonna zoom out a bit, take a look around. I think I see some. Yeah, so in the next few diagonals, I will be seeing more swans. That was my favorite part of the design. Okay, $7.99. Yeah, or how things change. I remember I was one of the only kids my age who didn't have their tonsils out. I guess they never caused me a problem. And now they generally don't remove them. It was, such a routine thing to remove them, but now they generally don't unless they're actually causing problems with like sleep apnea. Because, yeah, some people, if they have enlarged tonsils, and if they sleep on their back, it can cause breathing issues. I'm going to do those two, of course. Yeah, I was one of the last to catch chickenpox, though. Yeah, I remember when it ripped through my school. At one point in our class of about 30 students, there were maybe 10 of us there because everybody else was out with it. Yeah, my sister caught it first, and it looked like I wasn't going to catch it, and then just as she got better, then I got it, so it's like, darn. Yeah, so my kiddo gets to play paintball today, so he's looking forward to that. He went once with his dad. They had it for a work thing, and he accidentally shot one of his teammates in the back without meaning to. But yeah, they had a lot of fun. So I've never done it myself. Yeah, my husband said they did that for his brother's stag party. They went paintballing, and so he and his brother were captains of two teams, and they were going to ambush or whatever, and so they both went running out, and absolutely nobody else from either of their teams backed them up. So they both ran out, got each other point blank, and it's like, okay, well, now what? And it was like, thanks a lot, guys, to their friends. You just left us running out there by ourselves like a couple of fools. Oh, dear. Yeah, and they said, they had coveralls there for everybody. And if you were the unlucky guy who got the last set, they had a target painted on its back, like dead center. Oh. So yeah, you did not want to arrive late, or you got stuck with them. Ooh. Oh, pardon me. Yeah, smoke has cleared, thankfully, so I was able to do my walk today in the morning, and it was nice and cool this morning. It's supposed to get hot this afternoon, but it was nice while I was out there. Okay, so I got a few of this color part, but yeah, the way they're going all over the place is why I ended up with multiple threads going on. I don't think any of them are terribly long either, so. Okay, see how far I want to go down the diagonal and then work up. Oh dear. Okay, actually, I think I have a short piece. Yep, perfect. Kind of a horizontal cutoff line here because this is the bottom edge of the fountain, so it's pretty square. Okay, 159. really uneven. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do one of these out of order. So I'm gonna do this one, and that one. Because trying to do them in order would just be more trouble than it's worth for me. Okay, and then this one up here in the corner. And then park that there. Yeah, same with my new glasses. My other getting used to it is they're a different shape of frames than I had before, so every time I see myself in the mirror, it's like, whoa, something's different. Okay. So I'm going to fill these in, and then soon you won't see that I did any out of order. Yes. Sometimes my threads travel up, sometimes they travel down, sometimes they travel back and forth. So this one went up, now it's coming down again. Then it'll go back up. Either way, then it won't, I'm not closing anything in with it. I'm still staying along that diagonal edge there. Yeah, so I went and checked on my apple trees yesterday. They're not quite ready. They usually are by this time of year, but I think because we had such a cold July, it's taking longer for them to ripen because the apples are all still completely green. And usually they get kind of reddish blush to them. So they're sort of half green, half pinky kind of color. And there's no pink on them yet, so I think it's going to be another week. Sometimes they're not ready till like almost mid-September. Sometimes they're ready mid-August. It just, yeah, it really depends on what the weather's been like that this year. And yeah, this year has been a cooler summer than we usually get. Yeah, and there's no apples on the ground yet. I always know when they start falling off the tree, that's when they're ready. And there aren't any yet, so yeah, I was quite impressed. My little tree grew quite a lot in the last couple of years and is finally producing fruit, so that's nice. Yeah, they say they take like 18 to 25 years to reach the full, their full height, because it's like a dwarf tree, because they're bred to be, you know, lower to the ground, so it's easier to get the fruit. But I mean, they're still taller than my 2-story house, so we're pretty close to it. So when they're full grown, yeah, that's been in there 7 years, so it's still got a ways to go before it will reach its full size. That one does not want to come out. Nope. Just rethread it then. No prob. Yeah, we actually had to buy that little tree because I tried taking cuttings, but I'm not a green thumb, so yeah, that didn't work. And you can't plant the seeds or whatever because those, I think they say they breed those apples to be non-reproductive. So yeah, I tried planting a few cores with seeds in them to see if it would work, but it did not. So I guess that makes sense because there's always a few that get missed on the ground, and I've never had little new trees coming up from them. So yeah, though we try to pick them up because the apples that I have are quite acidic. They would almost like leave burned places, it looked like, in the grass if they sat and rotted there because, yeah, because they're so acidic. So yeah, and I'm out of jam pretty much, so I gave a bunch away when we visited family. Everybody got jam, so that we visited, so a couple people got 2 jars, so yeah, it's all gone. I'm gonna make some new stuff this year. See what berries are on sale, but I'm leaning towards blueberry. Haven't made that in a while. Blueberries and apples. It gives it a very nice, rich, deep purple color. The last batch I made was raspberry. It was so pink, like bright pink, I was surprised. It looked like it had artificial food coloring in it because it almost looked like jello color, but yeah, it was all natural. Just raspberries and apples and pectin and sugar. Yeah, my mother-in-law made some that she said she was trying to make jam, but she cut down on the amount of sugar in it so it didn't set. So it made like a syrup, but actually that was really, really yummy. So yeah, we had it on pancakes. It was so good. We'd put it on there and spread it out and roll them up and eat it like a jelly roll. Yeah, it was yum. Okay, oh, right. I want to do this one first. It looks like this one is the last. The last one we'll get off of there. Get out of this thread, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, hard to believe it's almost the end of another month. Soon it'll be time to take this project out of its frame and show y'all the whole thing, how far we've gotten. Yeah, I made more progress than I thought I would, given that we went on holiday, but because yeah, my last update, I hadn't quite reached the far right edge of the last pass. Now this line is 200 stitches in from the left edge, so yeah, that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, so a bunch of these, if they are still threaded, yeah, I will get them done and then either park them or tie them off. Either way, I get my needle back. Okay, then we're going to end up in the purples and pinks again. Okay. think I can see I'm going to end up with multiple threads again here. Got a lot of this color, still over 5,000 of this this color left in this pattern. So yeah, still plenty to go. Okay. Oh, that's an end, not just a fluff stuck to it. Oh, you're gonna be stubborn, huh? There we go. Sometimes it takes a couple times to get it to go back to the back of the piece. Now, I may end up doing some stuff out of order because I can kind of see, yeah, the way it's crossing back and forth. We shall see whether I can avoid it or not, and whether it's worth it for me or not. Oop. Yeah, I think it's unavoidable in this case. Yeah, okay, so what I'm gonna do, so I don't normally do this, but yeah, this one is just kind of, that's not, it pierced my fabric. Definitely won't look neat that way. There we go. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so yeah, it was just too difficult to try to avoid closing stuff in this case, so I'll break my guidelines this time. It was too much of a headache to try to figure out how to, and I would have had to add probably other threads that weren't necessary, so yeah, like I say, I adapt what I'm doing to the pattern rather than the pattern to me. Okay, I think, yeah, looks like this E color will be the same kind of deal. Yeah. So, really going out of my my usual way this time, but yeah, that's just the way it's gonna work out. I can be adaptable. Okay, so very carefully when I do this. I had to do this the other day, go out of order, and then I got one of them wrong, and then, yeah. That was fun. Trying to fix it. Oy. Okay. Oh, this piece is not as long as I had hoped it would be, but we'll work with what we have. Okay, I think I can get these ones out of it. Oh yeah, just enough. Generally get pretty good at estimating how many stitches I'll get left out of the thread. I generally only go out of order in that one area and then park it for where I could continue on without closing stuff in. So only do it for a limited space when I can't help it. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna do a separate thread there. Okay. Lots of smaller pieces for this color, so I'm going to use some of them up. Try that again. Okay. I'll do that one too. Might as well. As I go by it. all filled in. Yeah, so I find it a little neater generally if I don't go out of order, but sometimes it's just unavoidable, so I just do it. There we go. Just trying to knot up on me. Okay, I think I'm going to take a break there. So, as usual, I want to thank you for joining me today and hope to see you here again another time. All right, thanks everyone. Bye.